So what we needed was a platform to enable us to do all this. Now at Innovise we selected Microsoft Dynamics CRM. I don't expect you to read all these figures, and I was pointed out to me this morning that actually I need to update this slide because we're close to over 1.5 million users now with over 25,000 customers. But all the other standards on this sheet, really smack of the reason why we chose to build our solution on Dynamics CRM. And let's not forget, Microsoft are a pretty big company. They spend over 8 billion, I think it's actually 9 billion a year on product development. A good proportion of that goes into the Microsoft Dynamics CRM pot. So when they come up with new things in their next feature, in their next version, we can leverage that and include that in our next version. So, Microsoft Dynamics CRM. You get all of this out of the box. It's designed for small and large companies alike to do a generic CRM process within the system. But we don't believe that the FM industry is generic. And because of our expertise dealing with many clients over the years, we've FM'd it, if you like. So we've applied our expertise and we've created industry fields specific to your industry. We've created data mapping to integrate to other systems and to integrate to data sources. We've put the FM services in, which makes sense when it comes to cross-selling. And remember, what I think is the most important area is workflow. So we've enabled reduction in administration using workflow. We've included a formalized 8-stage sales process which can be applied to your sales process, the way you do business. It's all built up on experience with our clients. Automating tasks, automating alerts, improving that management integration, and working with customers to integrate to other systems. All things which we've included in CRM for FM. So what does this look like? And that's probably quite an important question. Now, when you were invited to this webinar, some quite bold statements were made, which I've put in front of you here. Increase sales productivity, close more deals, streamline your sales process, improve visibility. Quite big, bold statements. So perhaps I should sort of maybe show you how I think we'd get to the bottom of these. So let's start with sales productivity. It's simple. Now, I understand this because I'm a salesperson. I absolutely love working in Outlook. I use my calendar in Outlook. I use my tasks, email. It's pretty much my window on my prospecting world. That and my mobile phone, are my two routes to my prospects. Of course, visiting the old-fashioned way. So wouldn't it be great, as I mentioned earlier, to embed CRM in to Outlook, which is exactly what Dynamics allows us to do. Microsoft write Outlook, they write the base CRM system. So here we've got that CRM dashboard, so I can be answering my emails, then flicking to my sales pipeline, drilling through this diagram to get to the underlying data. You can see bottom right hand corner, I've got my activities in CRM format. They've integrated to Outlook. They've made their way to my mobile phone because Outlook integrates with my phone. CRM is integrated and embedded and part of Outlook. It's a simple task, but it makes me work better and work smarter. A 360-degree view, quite a heavily used phrase, I think, in the CRM industry, but it's really not that complicated. It's back to that Drucker quote again, of the fact of putting the customer at the heart of everything. This is an account screen, an account in our CRM for FM speak being a customer or a prospect or a company. So what you can see on this screen, and if I can just enable my mouse, you can see that you've got things like the account name, the contact details, who the main contact is, towards the bottom of the form. We've got who the other contacts are in the organisation. Quite importantly, we've got the significant ones at the top of the list so we can see their role, their contact details. Towards the left hand side of the screen you can see some sections of the cells, so what opportunities we've got. The service, are there any active cases? We can see marketing. What have our marketing department been telling them? What information have they received? Am I going to be asked about the latest offer that marketing have told them about that perhaps they forgot to tell me about? I have all that information here. You'll also notice at the top of the form we've got the Office 2010 ribbon. Now this is something which Microsoft are putting across all their applications. So the ribbon changes and it's context sensitive, so wherever you are in the application it changes and gives you just the buttons that you may need. So here you can, for example, assign the account to another user. You can run a report against this account. You can save it, you can save and close it, you can add things to it. So making it a very intuitive system really reduces that training time. Back to actually the slide before in sales productivity, really. Close more deals in less time. Again, big statement. Every salesperson wants to do this. So how do we do this? Well, really, this is through activity management. Those activities feeding back into Outlook. We've got here a view of those activities and all the different types that you can store, and we're seeing them next to a pie chart just simply to define, to show that we can put charts next to information, but also showing you some of the types of appointments we can have. So you can see the bulk of these, the 40%. We've also got 27% of these were appointments. We've got some emails, letters, even some faxes. So that's really enabling us to work faster, to work smarter. Is each deal the right deal? Again, another big bold statement. Many a sales director has asked a salesperson, can we win this? Is this the deal that you can go, is this the right kind of business for us? Well, the salesperson can answer that themselves, but it helps if they've got the right information presented to them. So where are you in your pipeline? Have you got enough going into the funnel, or are you going to have a sort of quiet backwater time in about 6 months because you're not putting enough in? You can also see things like all the opportunities you're working on at the moment. So you could see things like when the decision date is, should you be working on this one before that one? If you then click one of these and drill in, you get the opportunity form where you can see much more detailed information. Now this one's got a big red bar across the bottom of us telling us that we've missed the close date. Something wrong there, so we need to, it's telling us to look at it, to review this opportunity. Streamline your sales process. Quite a difficult thing to really present to you. It's really that workflow. Now the beauty of workflow is that users don't see it. So what I'm showing you is a screen which your typical user wouldn't see, and it's more of an administration scene. But against that opportunity for manned guarding at TTIP, we've got a number of different workflows that are happening behind the scenes. So these are all doing little automated tasks as we're working through this opportunity. If we drill into one, we've actually got the one for renewal after win. So this is just the steps in that workflow, things that happen. Again, the users don't see this, it just happens behind the scenes, but it's important that it's there. Now finally, or nearly finally, I've shown you some quite complicated forms, with high levels of complexity. It's as complex as it needs to be. So here we've got a lead form, and on that lead form, if you think back to that business card, we don't know a great deal of information. Nobody wants to see a complete application full of empty boxes that they've then got to fill in. So you present them with the lead form, and the users see that lead form, they fill in just what they know from the business card. Doesn't take very long, a little description of what's going on. You'll see on the left hand side that they can assign activities to those, what campaign it came from. Perhaps the most important field on that form is the lead source. This one was an email inquiry, but it could have been from a source campaign, so that marketing can start to get their ROI back and prove that their campaigns are working. When this is qualified, using in the ribbon the qualify button, it'll open again in a more complex screen, the company screen, and the contact details will have been stripped out and placed into a contact screen. So just making sure that you've got the appropriate complexity at the appropriate time. Nobody wants a daunting list of empty boxes to fill in when they first log into the system. That's a surefire way to stop people using it. Finally, that management information. So here's another view on that dashboard. This time I've shown it in the Internet Explorer client rather than Outlook client. So we can see we've got that sales pipeline. Perhaps that could be across all open opportunities. So a sales manager looking across the sales team. We can see which campaigns are working in the lead source. What types of activities are people doing? And as a sales manager, where am I being brought to task? Where are people involving me in those processes? What have I got to do today? Now finally, just leave this quote in front of you just for a second, from the Cardinal Group. it's important to know that this works. Here's one of our customers hopefully expressing that across to you. So thank you very much for your time. Worth pointing out that CRM for FM is available as an on-demand solution, so software as a service at a per user per month type basis, so there's no penalty for just having 1 or 2 users. It's based on how, it's costed based on how many people actually use the solution, and we're also offering you a 30-day free trial. So what I'd like to do over the next few days or weeks is get in touch with you again to perhaps arrange to come and talk to you in more detail about this. Well, thank you very much for your time and your patience this morning in listening to me going on about one of my favourite subjects, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in the future. Many thanks. Bye bye.